Hi guys, Eva Thompson here. Welcome to or back to my channel today. In this video, I'm going to be answering your Instagram questions that you sent through to me on my story. Before I get into it, I'm sorry for the background noise. My partner's got a call inside and cicadas are outside. It's really hot here. I'm in Greece and there's just noise everywhere. I can't get away from it, so I'm just going to film like this. Also, before we get into the video, please subscribe to my channel if you're new. It would really help me out. And also like this video if you find it valuable. Okay guys, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. So we've got the first question regarding ROCD. So this video is going to be about ROCD, RJ, cheating. I've got a whole bunch of different questions from you guys. The first question says ROCD and how it can cause the feeling of being turned off by your partner that you love. So I have talked about this before, but what happens is when you feel or when you have ROCD and you get intrusive thoughts about your partner and not being attracted to them enough or not loving them enough or, you know, just constantly questioning whether this person is the one for you because of some tiny little detail. When you get these thoughts, as an ROCD sufferer, you try to prove these thoughts wrong you panic initially, and then you try to prove these thoughts wrong by forcing emotions of love and admiration towards your partner. And when you try to force something, you block it. So I see this a lot with ROCD sufferers. You get an intrusive thought, you get triggered, you feel anxious, you feel threatened, you feel fearful, and then you try to reason with the thought, argue with the thought, force emotion of love and admiration and attraction towards your partner so you can prove this thought wrong. And then this feeling of, like you said, being turned off comes up because you're forcing feeling turned on all the time. So it's going to have the opposite effect. Something to do here is to understand that these thoughts thrive off of you taking them seriously. Now, taking them seriously means reacting to them, fearing them, dialoguing with them, and trying to prove them wrong. So I have made videos regarding how to handle intrusive thoughts, and I will link it down in the description box below. I would really recommend you watching it. But what you want to remember, essentially, is that when you react to a thought, either with emotion or acting out of compulsion, you're kind of sending a signal to your mind that this thought is a threat or this thought is important enough for me to have to do something about it. Okay, so the next question is handling periods of disconnection with your partner. This is very normal. I think when you get into a relationship, especially if you're with this person for a long time, I believe at least that not always being attracted to them or not always being in love with them or not always getting along with them is normal. Especially if you're planning on spending your life with someone, it's not really realistic to expect from both of you to always be on the same page, and that's okay. It's okay to go through a few days or even a week of not feeling very close to them and taking some time for yourself. And then after some time passes, you guys come close again. It's when we say to ourselves, you should always feel connected, or you shouldn't feel this way, it's wrong, and you put so much pressure, you start overthinking, you start forcing the emotion of, or the thought of, I want to be connected. You try to connect so desperately, and then you block it even further, and then it becomes an issue. It doesn't have to be that way. You can just accept that right now you don't feel that close to them, and that it's just a phase in the relationship, it's going to pass. So the next question is staying if they cheated on me. So if your significant other cheated on you, first of all, I'm very sorry to hear about this. It's never an easy thing, and I don't think that there is a solid answer to your question of should you stay or should you go. I think it very much depends on the individuals, it very much depends on the relationship and on the situation. I don't think that, you know, when people say, oh, you got cheated on, just leave, or oh, you got cheated on, that's fine, just stay. I don't think that you can say that, especially when you don't know the situation with more detail at least, which I don't right now. So I'm not going to say go or stay. But what I will say, A, is realize that if someone cheated on you, it is never your fault. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with your value as a human being or your worth. It's on them. So people cheat for a number of different reasons. Either they can't be honest, they've got commitment issues. There's so many different reasons why people cheat, but as the partner that got cheated on, don't internalize it. I know it's difficult, but don't make it about yourself. This is their mistake, their issue. So there's 2 questions here that need to be answered in order for you to make a decision. Number 1, is this person that cheated on you eager to learn, okay, well, what is the root? Why did I do this? And get help so they don't do it again. In my opinion, the sorry I won't do it again doesn't cut it. You need to first understand, okay, well, why did I do, as the cheater, why did I feel they need to cheat? Be dishonest, lie to my partner, and what do I need to do? What do I need to look at? What do I need to heal in order for me to not do this again? And then the question that you need to ask yourself as the person that got cheated on is, are you willing to forgive them? Do you want to forgive them? I know it's difficult to even find it in you to give a solid yes or no answer, but if you are in a place right now where you feel like you want to try forgiving them, or you at least want to give the relationship a try after they hurt you, that's okay. Don't feel guilty about that. A lot of people think that they're an idiot or they're a loser if they stay with someone that cheated on them. But if you believe in this person and you believe in the relationship, then that's great. Of course, there is a balance between getting cheated on and the other person wanting to heal and not do it again versus getting cheated on over and over again and staying and being manipulated in any way, shape or form. So those are 2 questions that you need to ask yourself. They need to ask themselves if they are ready to look at the reason of why they cheated. What is it? What made them act in this dishonest way? And for you, are you willing to forgive and move on? So the next question is, explain your recovery and the difference in feeling/thinking when suffering versus recovered. Okay, so I'm going to touch on both RJ and ROCD. So I suffered from both for about 8 years in 3 different relationships. And when I was studying to become a therapist, so the therapy that I specialize in includes clinical hypnotherapy, NLP and CBT, together with obviously psychotherapy. And it's called Rapid Transformational Therapy. And the reason I love it so much is because it focuses on the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is literally responsible for 95 to 99% of your daily programming. And it's also in charge of your emotions. The subconscious mind is the emotional mind. Consciously, you can talk about how if you're an RJ sufferer, the past doesn't matter and it's gone and it's only in your mind. But that doesn't shift the fact that when you get the thoughts about your partner's past, you feel triggered, you feel like they matter, you feel like you need to act out compulsion in order to feel better. It's the same with ROCD. You consciously know you want to be with this person. It makes sense to you. But when you get the intrusive thoughts, they still feel, you still feel anxious when you get them. You still feel worried. And this is why working with the subconscious mind is A, faster, and B, more effective. And the results do last long term because we're literally reprogramming the subconscious mind. But anyway, that's how I overcame ROCD and RJ. I was studying to become a therapist. I didn't necessarily want to work with ROCD or RJ sufferers. That hadn't crossed my mind when I was studying. I wanted to actually focus on younger women with depression and anxiety. That was my niche. That was what I wanted to make my niche. But obviously, as time went by, I saw that the RJ disappeared completely for me, and so did the ROCD. And I remember just thinking, let me try this out because it helped me. Let me see if I can help other people using this technique. And I did, and I haven't stopped doing it ever since. So what it feels like being over all of that. To be honest, you don't think about it anymore. In my personal relationship, I don't sit there every day and think to myself, oh, I'm over RJ, or oh, I'm over ROCD. I don't have these thoughts and worries anymore. It's just kind of getting on with life. And it's a lot easier, and a lot of fights are avoided because I don't feel that way anymore. I don't feel threatened by my partner's past. I don't question my relationship anymore every 3 minutes. I don't ask other people about, is this the right relationship? You know, how do I know for sure? What if it's a mistake? All of these things, you just don't. It just doesn't exist anymore. You just move on with your life and focus on other things. And I've been able to focus on things that have served me a lot, whether it's my business or moving into a new apartment, adopting 2 dogs. Like, life is just good without ROCD and RJ, which is why I do invite you to, first of all, believe that there is a way out, because the majority of people are so deep in these thoughts and these feelings regarding either RJ or ROCD, and they don't even think that it's possible for them to recover. And I am an example, and so are my clients. I was not a light case of RJ and ROCD. It was intense, and the arguments I had with my partner were intense, and the doubts I had were intense. The anger was intense, the sadness was intense, the tears were intense. It was very intense, and I know what you feel like, but there is, life without the problem does exist. So the next question is nitpicking on appearance and how to overcome it. As a woman, because I say you are a woman, we are born into a society that tells us how important our looks are, how important it is to be attractive, and how you will be loved and admired and liked if you are attractive. What I say to women is that realistically, you are so much more than your looks. You are a whole human being with a soul, with a brain. The most important opinion of all is the opinion that you have about yourself. And so what's important is for you to realize that you are so much more than your looks. How do you make people feel? What ideas have you come up with? Who are you to people in your life? What kind of daughter are you? A sister are you? A friend or partner? What do you offer in these relationships? I bet you offer a lot. So don't diminish that. Don't diminish who you are. You're an entire human being. You're not your looks. And also, if you think about it, guys, the mirror was a human invention. We were not meant to look in the mirror and look into our camera of our phone and obsess about how we look, because it's not important. What's important is, again, your ideas, your mind, how you make people feel, your sense of humor, your character, your dreams, your inspirations. All of these things are what matter, not what you look like. But it's important. You can't expect society and other people to see that in you sometimes, especially if they don't know you very well. But again, the most important opinion of all about yourself is your own. So I would even, get a sheet of paper and write down, okay, well, what am I? Who am I? If you just put my looks to the side for a minute, who am I? What do I bring to the table in my relationships? What kind of person am I? What's my heart? What's my mind? What are my ideas? And write all of these things down and just notice how much is there and how much you're suppressing and not giving any attention to because you're so focused on how you look. If you don't like something on yourself and you want to change it, go ahead. But don't do it for the wrong reasons. Don't do it because you want to be accepted by others, or because you think that if you do this, then other people are going to like me more, they're going to accept me more. Because when you place your validation on what other people think, it's a slippery slope, and you're setting yourself up for a lot of anxiety and stress. So the last question, guys, is retroactive jealousy related. And this person says, they slept with someone during the talking stage and I'm haunted. Okay, so I've got 2 things to mention here. Number 1, I've worked with a lot of people that suffer from retroactive jealousy, and the fact that they can say to themselves, yes, but my partner didn't even know me when they did X, Y, and Z, whatever it is that they're obsessing over, doesn't help. Again, why? Because it's intellectual, it's conscious, it's not emotional. Emotionally, they still feel like the thoughts matter. Emotionally, they still feel the anxiety or the sadness or the anger or the frustration. So what I'm trying to say to you basically is that even if your partner didn't know you when they slept with this other person, that wouldn't stop the RJ from coming up. That's just a mental illusion of, oh, this is why I can't get over RJ because I knew them when they did this. That's not true. That's just another problem that is conscious, that is intellectual, and your mind's come up with. Another thing to remember is that even though your partner did whatever they did in the past, they still, to this day, choose you. So they choose you every day, even though they know what it's like to be with other people, or to be in a relationship with other people, or to sleep with other people, but they still choose you. They choose you every day. So this is something to keep in mind if you're an RJ sufferer. Don't allow this idea of, just because we were talking when they did this, I can't get over it. That's not true. It's just another mental block that your mind is telling you that you need to solve this in order for you to be okay. You need to understand this, or rationalize this, or be okay with this in order for you to overcome RJ. It's not got to do with your partner at all. Whether it's an ROCD or you're an RJ sufferer, you are projecting onto your relationship. You are projecting onto your partner. Your partner's past is not inherently a problem. You being in love with someone, if you're an ROCD sufferer, and giving and receiving love effortlessly and easily, that is natural. It's a natural state. If you're suffering from intrusive thoughts, it's not that the actual relationship is the issue. It's something that you're projecting from in here onto your partner or onto your relationship. So don't allow your mind to tell you that it's actually about the partner's past, for example, because it isn't. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video if you found it valuable, and if I answered your question, and subscribe to my channel if you are new here, and I will see you guys soon.